Alright, should be recording. I read an article a while ago about how by 20 years old, we've already spent 90% of our time with our parents. And when I read it, I didn't understand it then. But as I lived life and now I'm 23, honestly, the more I think about it, it's pretty true. I consider myself a lucky kid, even though I always didn't think it that way. I was mostly brought up by my dad after my parents divorced when I was very young. I still got to see my mom though, just every once in a while. Considering some people have very bad relationships with their parents, maybe don't have them around at all, I am very lucky. When I had nobody to hang out with me, my mom would always keep me company. And when I got home and I needed food, my dad would always cook whatever's in the kitchen just to keep my stomach full. And don't get me wrong, like at first he wasn't good, so it was a struggle. No matter how busy or tired they were, they always tried their best to be there for me. But then, I turned 20. I left my home city with my dad, and I started university. It also meant that my mom would be a 13-hour flight away from me, hours behind in my time zone. I've now gone from seeing her once every weekend to now maybe once a year. I also moved away from my dad so that I'd be closer to uni. That meant, for the first time in my life, I'm not living with my parents anymore. Obviously, I still check in on them once in a while, and even though they weren't necessarily living with me, I knew that as long as I reached out in some way, I always assumed that they would be there. While I was there, I watched an anime called Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, and I watched it religiously every single week an episode came out. Something about that show really captured my heart. It wasn't the flashy fight scenes, not the amazing scenic shots that it had. It was the story of Frieren regretting not being appreciative of what she had around her for all these years. The ever-changing world, events that slowly turned into ancient history, and the people around her that she truly cared about, but never took the effort to show that she does. As an elf, she outlived all of it, realizing that it's too late to cherish the people around her, only when they pass away one by one. She thought to herself, that's just life, and there's nothing to do about it. It's out of my control. Then, she cried. She cried more than ever. She left the people she could call family for many years, only to return when they die. She never dropped by to say hi and always assumed that they would always be there. But of course, life doesn't work that way. Then I had to ask myself, am I just doing the same thing? I've always just assumed that my parents would be here my entire life. But what happens when it's too late? Am I gonna regret not spending enough time with them, not letting them know how grateful I am, and not telling them how much I actually love them? My parents have given me a lot of gifts. They've bought me a lot of stuff. But I do have to say, the greatest gift that they've given me is their love and their presence. They've always been here with me, but that's not an absolute. It's a privilege. And I'll be very honest with you. The last thing I want when I eventually have to wear that black suit and tie and have people come up to me and give me their condolences and have my head held high, trying not to cry. The last thing I want to do is to say, I wish we had more time. To anyone watching this video, if your parents are still around, give them a hug, give them a call. Don't be too busy working on something else, or else you'll be too busy thinking about what you could have done. And if you have any unsettled differences with them, just know that it's just not worth it to hold on to any grudges. What is life with hatred and regret when you can simply love? This is Kwanu. Thank you so much for your massive support so far. And give your parents a call, give them a visit. I'll see you guys next time.